Let's look first at Jon Corzine. The media is running to his defense, saying, oh, he didn't mean to perjure himself to Congress. He didn't know that billions of dollars had been sent overseas. He didn't know that hundreds of millions of it was taken out of people's private accounts. Well, now it's coming out that they have the memos, they have the documents. Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, they're all reporting. They know that Mr. Corzine ordered, as CEO of MF Global, that those funds be transferred. And I want to go ahead and go to a couple clips that we've pulled out of the archives. The first video is of Terrence Duffy in Congress a few months ago saying that, yes, the CEO of MF Global did know about the transfers, something that Corzine had just denied the day before. Here's that clip.
After receiving this information, CME remained at MF Global while MF Global attempted to identify funds that could be transferred into segregation to reduce or eliminate the discrepancy. A CME auditor also participated in a phone call with senior MF Global employees wherein one employee indicated that Mr. Corzine knew about the loans that had made for the customer segregated accounts. CME Group has provided this information names of these individuals to the Department of Justice and the CFTC who are investigating these matters.
So the system is covering up for somebody that took farmers and ranchers and little old ladies' money that was in their own private accounts that they used to then invest in the futures trading system controlled by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is even starting to blow me away, despite the fact I know how corrupt these folks are. Of course, he's the former head of Goldman Sachs, the major kingpin criminal group. Shifting gears now to the Criminal Justice Department, who refuses to go after Jon Corzine. Fast and Furious probe, chief suspect released more than once. Well, that's because it isn't a suspect. It's someone they were using as a conduit on record in federal court documents to ship the guns into Mexico. Manuel Celius Acosta, the chief suspect in the ATF's Fast and Furious investigation, who was caught but released at the U.S.-Mexico border in May of 2010, was also stopped and released 2 months earlier while in possession of a Colt 38 caliber pistol purchased illegally under the gun tracking operation. So you've got the police state that's set up to harass citizens, catching him over and over again, but it's a catch and release type situation. And one of the memos that came out last year show is, if we needed the memos to know this, it was all part of a plan to blame the Second Amendment and call for the ban of all semi-automatic rifles and handguns. That's about 72% of all guns out there, in the name of stopping violence in Mexico. It was about blaming America and the Second Amendment for what these terrorists did. That's a false flag terror attack against our country, if I've ever seen one. Now, here's an amazing story. You know, people want to talk about things that are in movies like Blade Runner as being science fiction, as being unbelievable, as being something that's crazy and could never actually happen. You know, in that movie, they have designer fish, designer lizards, designer birds, designer humans. For decades, they've had cloned humans. They just kill them at the embryonic level before they're born. That's been on record in the scientific publications, but not on the news. And for more than 15 years, I've seen major peer-reviewed published reports of rodents, other mammals, insects, worms, being able to live 5, 6, 7, 8 times their normal lifespan when they genetically manipulate and put these mice and rats on different diets. Well, finally, it's starting to get attention. Here's a report. Harvard scientists reverse the aging process in mice, now for humans. Harvard scientists were surprised that they saw a dramatic reversal, not just a slowing down, reversal of the aging in mice. Now they believe they might be able to regenerate human organs. Folks, you're being told about stuff that's decades old. The elite, Ray Kurzweil and others, say that's why they want global government. That's why they want to reduce the rest of us, because they're not going to let us have access to all these technologies. They're literally becoming gods, they believe. They are being given the fire of the gods from Prometheus. But of course, Prometheus in the Prometheus myth actually tried to empower all of humanity and was punished by the gods. So you guys are trying to behave more like the jealous gods of antiquity. You're not gods, you're humans, and you're going to destroy our planet in the process if you're not stopped. So there is that report. We'll be giving you more reports on that throughout the week. In fact, Thursday, we've got a big special report on this, tying it in to the Illuminati, Secret Society, Babylon, Mystery Religion schools, and the new film coming out, Prometheus, put out by Ridley Scott. So that's coming up Thursday. By the way, coming up later tonight, we're going to air the Billy Corgan interview that we did a week and a half ago sitting at this table. And so that's coming up after the nightly news this evening. I should remind viewers out there of that. We're so blessed to even be here and be able to cover this information with you. All right, shifting gears into the latest media distraction and diversion. Trayvon Martin, I think that Zimmerman was wrong to follow him down the street, but the photos we're seeing of Trayvon when he's 12, well, he's 17 now, 6'3", Mr. Zimmerman reportedly 5'2", and there are witnesses in the police reports that say that Trayvon was on him, basically physically beating him. And now it's coming out that he was trying to take the gun from Mr. Zimmerman. So nobody is right in this situation. It's a tragedy, but undoubtedly, this is being used to push division in this country by the elite. They want us fighting with each other. Mike Adams of Natural News has done a great report on this. Let's talk about real threats. 100 Trayvons a day, why the real murder of blacks is carried out by pharmaceutical companies, vaccines, and cancer clinics. And it goes over the fact that you've got a much better chance, whether you be Hispanic, black, white, it doesn't matter, of being killed by the medical establishment than being shot and killed in a crime or anything else. And I saw some comments when we posted this article this morning saying, you know what, Alex, we're tired of you pandering to black people all day. This is a big spectacle. It's all anti-white. We're sick of you, writing an article about how Big Pharma's only killing blacks and not other people. Listen, get this straight. We've got a major issue going on with the elite trying to cause a race war in this country, which they're going to use to take all of our liberties, namely our Second Amendment. And by reaching out to black people and pointing out how 52% of them are being aborted, how they're having things tested on them like everybody else, we can get folks to stop fighting with each other. And quite frankly, from historical research, black people in this country were the first group to be beta tested on in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s with syphilis, radiation. Foster kids are being taken and having things tested on them. Most of them are black. So the fact is, I think Mike Adams is dead on about this. And for all these white people that I know who aren't really racist, but are sick of everybody telling them they're racist all day, so they've just gotten tired of it all and kind of run over to the other side of saying, okay, if I'm racist, if you say I'm racist, I'll go ahead and go along with that. Everybody is in the same boat together, okay? And the globalists want to manipulate us against each other. And so we've got to stop it. Does that mean go along with the political correctness and hate yourself because you're white? No. But we've got to recognize that political correctness and multiculturalism is designed to destroy all of our cultures. And we've got to ask ourselves, why is that? So the system can replace our cultures with this plastic corporate death. But if we won't just have a ceasefire and look at the facts and be honest, we can't expect to ever defeat the New World Order. And then after the New World Order is defeated, if the black supremacists and the white supremacists want to kill each other, great, go ahead. Just right now, I want to defend the sovereignty of this country, the Second Amendment, private property rights, the family, and I want to stop the killing of children across the board. And a lot of you racists that say, like Khalid Muhammad would say, kill all the white babies. I dare black folks to actually go out and kill white babies. They're innocent, just like black babies are innocent. And I tell all of you out there that say, hey, let's kill all the Arabs, let's carpet bomb them, let's nuke them, let's glass parking lot them. Can you actually do what Sergeant Bales did and actually go blow toddlers' heads off? No, you can't. So don't sit there and talk about how great genocide is when you couldn't do it yourself. We're giving up our humanity here with all this racist garbage. And I understand the system uses it to beat people down and to divide us. I get that the anti-racism is what's actually pushing most of the race stuff. I get that. I'm just saying we've got to be sophisticated enough to understand what's happening here. You know, when people called me racist for saying, hey, wait, Obama's using this Trayvon Martin thing as a political diversion, saying he looks like his son and all this, it's disgusting. I got attacked for that. But did I get mad because some black folks didn't understand what I was saying? No. I simply continued to explain the facts to them, and now most of those people have apologized to me. Look, reality is sophisticated. It's complex. If you want something simple, go to the mainstream news and get somebody reading off a teleprompter to you. That's what's gotten us into this situation. And by the way, the truth's starting to come out. Turns out Mr. Zimmerman's got a bunch of black friends, including a local TV anchor guy who's come out and said he's friends with him and, you know, that he got a lot of black friends and that he's really freaked out about what happened and he's not a racist. We've also got the former head of the NAACP coming out and saying the epidemic is truly black on black crime. Bryant said the greatest danger to the lives of young black men are young black men, and that's absolutely true. You know, it's fun to get all tribal, all humans do it, and get all angry and say Whitey's out to get us. But at the final equation, what's destroyed the black community is now destroying all the other communities, and it's this government nanny state that makes you dependent. Prosperity makes monsters, adversity makes men. I'm reversing the quote by French philosopher Victor Hugo, but adversity makes men, prosperity makes monsters. That's what's happening here, is this enslavement. Now, in other news at Infowars.com, Ron Paul suspects Supreme Court will rule monstrosity Obamacare constitutional. Would be a real tragedy if law is upheld. He told me 2 months before Obamacare passed Congress that it was going to pass, so he's got his ear to the ground. But I've seen all the big neocon publications getting everybody ready that, oh, the conservative members are probably going to vote for this. So get ready for their decision. They're getting everybody ready. Now, we all know the federal government making us buy insurance is not constitutional. It's slavery. But you've got to know it's not some liberal socialist communist movement. That's just the cover. The big banks that own the insurance companies want to make everybody buy insurance. Then it lets the government decide what care you get. So it's really a fascist model. Even worse than socialism, if that's possible. And so, yes, I saw whole stacks of articles the last 3 days getting everybody ready for the Supreme Court to rule. You bet the government's going to make you buy things. Got to buy it from the company store. And government's taking over health care. So you're going to pay for all this, and then you're not going to be eligible for the medical care. So it's like our own writer, Paul Watson's been sick for over a month with a chest cold. He goes to the government doctor, and they go, we're not giving you antibiotics, Jack. He's like, well, let me go see a private practitioner. They're like, we decide if you can go see somebody. Only the elite can see that. Even if you have the money, sorry, here's a bag of aspirin. Get well or die. In fact, if you go to Infowars.com real quick, we have an incredible graphic up there that's Planned Grandparenthood, the death panels, where you get bonus credit for going ahead and euthanizing grandpa and grandma. There it is. And this is actually what they're saying. They're saying in the bioethics journals, kill grandma, kill up to 3-year-old children that are healthy. This is when you get into a socialized system with fascists on top of it. They get everybody fighting over resources. And Bill Gates says to teachers at a meeting a few years ago, kill grandma and get 10 jobs. And the teachers clapped, murder, kill them. Oh, look at grandpa. Oh, look, Junior's getting the money. Of course, he'll be killed later as well with his soft kill weapon. See, they got to get rid of health care because they're soft killing everybody with the cancer viruses because the government loves you so much. And a lot of members of the elite are going to be dying, too. This is like just giving over to psychopathic systems. We're living in a science fiction movie, folks. We're living in a nightmare. Let's shift gears now to the next article. DHS raids home to seize deadly hair straighteners. I have this article right over here. It's at Infowars.com. But don't worry, the government's doing all this for our own safety. DHS raids home to seize deadly hair straighteners. That's even more ridiculous than when I've seen them raiding Amish with milk, or DHS involved going after lemonade stands. Federal agency founded to fight terrorism continues war on grooming appliances. Yes, it's going on to keep us safe. But that's okay. 2 weeks ago, the head of the CIA, General Petraeus, said, you know what? All of your new appliances, when you pay for them, have backdoor tech built in with data over power lines and wireless, your washing machine, your iPhone, to track you. And Paul Watson's got an article out today. Everything is spying on you. Forget 1984. The Internet of Things is the ubiquitous surveillance grid, and it's all there. The schools watching your kids over the, quote, free laptops you paid for with tax money. It's all there. It's all happening, and we've been proven right yet again.